Hi Cancer, welcome to your February 2022 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, my readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant signs. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Cancerian, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance, and I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to no, there is no key to the month. All right, for your actions and interactions with the world at large in the month of February, my dear Cancerian lunar brothers and sisters, you've got the moon, right? So technically the moon is your ruler, but this card is actually Pisces ruled. And I gotta be honest with you, the moon card is not an easy card to have because it suggests this month you may feel a little bit like you're spinning your wheels, right? Why do I say that? Because the moon card has quite a nebulous energy. Now, what this suggests to me is this might be a month where you feel like it's 3 steps forwards and 2 steps back. Even still, if you do the math on that, there is always progress being made, right? No matter how small the progress might be. This also suggests as well, like you're naturally very reflective. Cancer is a very reflective sign because it's ruled by the moon. And so you have this natural ability, affinity and challenge, let's say, where you constantly look back towards the past. It's a very nostalgic kind of energy, this. Now, Cancer energy. Now, that being said, this card can represent the past, and this suggests that maybe, just maybe this month, you might catch yourself trying to do something that you used to do. Or it's like you're trying to use old paradigms, ideas, belief structures for new avenues, right? And this month I feel like this is going to be where maybe the universe or the energy in some way, shape or form kind of says to you, you can't, like, you're not going to be able to make this happen using all of your old strategies, right? So this month when it comes up, you may find yourself needing to go in a different direction or utilize different attributes and skills to get something done. When it comes to your communications and conversations, you got the 4 of Wands, right? So this is great. There's some good news for some of you as well. It looks like there could be a party of some sort that's going on. Wouldn't be surprising to me because the moon card coupled with the 4 of Wands can be a party that happens at night. So it literally would not be a surprise to me. With that said, you do have some good news coming in, and you do have some constructive criticism, absolutely, coming in this month, but also you've got some constructive communications coming in. So I actually like this for you. And even with that moon card, it may be just a friend or, a conversation that you have with a loved one where they point something out to you and you're like, wow, yeah, actually, you know what, that's not gonna, as an example, if you decide, let's say you decided, right, I'm going to go into the business of making butter, right? You wouldn't use, well, maybe you would use a really old technique. I don't know, but I guess that's the only example that's coming to mind at the moment. It's about updating your skills or your repertoire in some way, shape or form so that you've got something to use that is more updated. And I kind of feel like a conversation with a friend, a loved one, maybe even a partner for some of you, it's going to highlight to you where your idea or your ideals are outdated for what it is that you're trying to do. And they're saying it out of all love. And if I'm completely honest with you, they're right. Okay, I'm reading for my moon at the same time, the moon in my chart at the moment, so I'm definitely paying attention to this because like, okay, what am I doing that maybe needs to be taken care of? So keep that in mind. For your heart and half sector, you have the 6 of Pentacles, right? So this coupled with the 4 of Wands, when it comes to money and couples, sometimes the money and the finances can be the thing that trips a couple up. It does look like there are some conversations and considerations around shared resources this month, and this tracks totally, which I'm going to talk about when we get into your moons, right? And lunar transits are always more important for you. They're always more intense and more powerfully felt by you because you are ruled by the moon, right? Whether this is your sun, your moon, or your ascendant, the moon is your luminary. So, you know, it's a big deal. But it does look like there are conversations and considerations about joint finances, resources this month. That Six of Pentacles also suggests that maybe there's something that you want to do that your partner doesn't, or maybe vice versa. And the reason I say that is because you've got the Moon card here. This suggests that some of your actions, maybe they feel halted, or maybe they feel outdated, or do you know what I mean? Like there's something here that almost suggests that like you're maybe like a feeling of spinning your wheels, or it's just not being received as well as you would like. Doesn't mean it's an issue, and the fact that you've got the Four of Wands means that you and your partner, after hashing it out a little bit, you get to being on the same page. So this is actually great. With the Six of Pentacles, this can be somewhat of a karmic debt. So for those of you that are single, this could be a month where, you know, and I'm going to say this, I know a lot of you are going to be like, when hell freezes over. But for some of you, this could be the apology from somebody that you've dated, somebody that did you wrong in your past, maybe somebody that, you know, like you could hear the apology that you've maybe always wanted but forgot about after a while, right? Like we all have someone in our past that we kind of wish would give us a solid apology. Maybe some, you know, in some respects, we are that person for somebody else as well. That's, you know, that is literally the cycle of life. But this month you could get the apology that you always craved, the recognition in some way, shape or form. And this isn't about like, oh, I see you now and I want to date you. It's just, you know what, I understand that actually the way that I treated you wasn't very nice and I apologize for that. Even if it comes through a third party, you know, where someone says to you, oh yeah, you know, I was speaking to them and, you know, they feel really bad for what you know, what they did to you or how it ended between you or whatever. So it kind of feels like in that regard, there is a chapter being closed here. And I really feel like it's going to allow a lot of you to move on in that sort of heart space area. And, you know, that opens you up to all kinds of wonderful new energies for you know, potential relationships. So for those of you that are single, this could be a month that gives you what you need in order for your dating life to open up. When it comes to your money and materials, you've got the Six of Wands. So this is a great card, right? So you've got the two, pretty much the two best Wands cards, the 4 and the 6, which is great. On top of that, you've got two sixes. Two sixes represents balance or irritability. And in this spread, it's definitely balance for me. Like your finances, your resources. Like I said, for those of you that are partnered, you and a partner are going to hash something out, right? You're having to have a talk or a conversation. But once you do, you get to that space where you're both like, yes, okay, now we're on the same page. Your money, your finances look like they're going through an upswing this month. You're certainly being able to draw more money to you. And this looks like successful projects. If you work for somebody else, it's likely to be that you are, you know, maybe you're well received. Maybe like there is a view to a promotion, or there's a view to you improving your earning potential in some way. I like this for you. So for your first week of the month, you have the Judgment card, right? So a literal blast from the past this month. It might be for some of you, maybe it's you that is treading old ground. You know, going to visit an old partner, going to your old school, going to a place that you used to live in. In some way, shape or form, the past features for you this month. But I kind of feel like it's not about reconnections or getting back together with anybody. It's about sort of having that moment where you can say, okay, this chapter, right, this larger cycle in my life is done now and it's ready, like I'm ready to move forward. This is also very likely to be a call that only maybe you can hear internally, right, in order to get something off the ground or get something started. Your second week of the month, you've got the Sun card. For those of you that want them, this is pregnancy news, which is beautiful. This is good news in general, but it's also an invite of, you know, I mean, it could be an invite to a party. Definitely possible, especially because of this combination, like a party that happens at night. But you've got the Sun card with the Four of Wands. That's like news that makes you ecstatic, right? This could be promotion energy. It could be your project has been greenlit. It could be, you know, that person that you reached out for a collaboration says yes. It's just advancement, and it's really, really good news that is bringing like all the smiles and all the feels. For your third week of the month, you've got the High Priestess. So you've got the High Priestess next to the Sun. That is some hidden element, some piece of information, some apology, something from your past that you needed to hear, that maybe you had convinced yourself, you know what, maybe I don't need that. So you get on with your life, and then all of a sudden, this happened to me some years ago now. I'm talking a long time at this point as well. And I waited 3 years. Like this is when I was a much younger person, probably when I was I dated somebody when I was, I'm not even going to get into it, but I dated someone for 6 months, and I really fell for this person very hard. And through that, I was not treated very well. And I waited 3 years for that apology. By the time I got to like the first year, I was like, whatever, I'm just going to get on with my life. But 3 years later, that person came and they apologized to me. And that was a really interesting moment for me. All right. So I can attest to this kind of energy, but I really feel like it would be an apology that comes back that maybe you'd forgotten you needed, but it makes all the difference now. For your fourth week of the month, you have the Wheel of Fortune right underneath the Six of Wands. Any and all connections to overseas and or travel, highly favored for you this month. The Wheel of Fortune with the Six of Wands could literally just be you taking a journey or a celebratory trip in some way, shape or form, which could be very exciting. But yeah, this is good money. And for some of you, it looks like there's either a surprise trip or yeah, like a surprise trip or a hidden gift of some sort that comes through that maybe you weren't expecting. So for your moons, when I talk about astrology, when I talk about the moon, I'm always using tropical astrology, and I always use whole sign astrology. And if you are listening to any of the astrological stuff that I talk about, that is mostly for your ascendant, to a lesser degree the sun and the moon. So the new moon that takes place on the 1st of February in the sign of Aquarius is in your 8th house, which is all to do with other people's money, other people's finances, other people's resources, your partner's money, your partner's finances, money that you make from business connections and partnerships in general. Your new moon message is the gate 7 and discipline. So if you're going to set any intentions around that 8th house, make a discipline for you to show up, to do your bit, so that when it comes time for people to pay you, they're like, you know what, you did such a good job, I need to give you a tip. This is about going above and beyond, and it's not about looking for rewards. It's just about making sure that when you put your 50% in, that 50% is so juicy and so amazing that people are like, you know what, they came through. So whether this is your job, whether it's your own business, whatever it is, show up. Use that new moon in the 8th house to show people, connections, business partners, bosses, etc., that you are about it. When it comes to your full moon message, which is going to be in Leo, so the full moon in Leo is in your 2nd house, which is all to do with your money, your finances, your resources, your savings, the things that you own, your values around money, self-esteem. And the fact that you got a full moon there is putting a spotlight or a highlight on how you feel about yourself, which determines your self-worth, which determines how much money, finance, resources, and abundance you can attract. For that, you have the gate 35 and experience. And look, in there, you've got the full moon. So I find that really interesting as well. And I often say with this card, it's about not taking somebody's word for it. It's not enough to have somebody say, well, oh, well, you know, I tried to start a business in that and I didn't do very well. So, you know, you shouldn't bother. That's their business. This is you, right? This full moon is trying to highlight to you that if you believe in yourself enough, you must go for the experience. Don't worry about whether it's going to succeed or fail. Just do your bit, right? And that full moon is really going to highlight to you where maybe, just maybe, you're allowing other people's thoughts, ideas, ideologies, or beliefs to get in the way of what you can create for yourself. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic month. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.